All right, Chad Evans back in the studio again with my dear friend Colby Wesner. How are you, Colby?
Good. I'm doing great, Chad. How are you?
Do I have to call you doctor?
No, absolutely not. That would be really weird for me.
Okay, all right. I want when people are watching this video, we're going to talk about this hiking excursion you're going on in a little bit, all to raise funds for Think Big and Hunter's Heart and Hustle.
Yeah.
Right. But before we talk about that, I want to know, who is Colby Wesner? Where are you from? How did you decide to become a doctor? And why are these nonprofits so important to you? I want to know about that. So who's Colby?
Who's Colby? Well, I'm a local guy, Mifflinburg, Pennsylvania, is where I graduated. Went and big Penn State fan.
Let's go State.
Yeah, absolutely. Went and did my undergrad at Penn State and then did med school in Erie. So pretty much all Pennsylvania. I'm a Pennsylvania kid. An adult now, I guess, through and through. And as far as why I wanted to be a doctor, I don't know. It's just what I always wanted to do. I was pretty sick as a kid. I had real bad asthma.
Really?
I was hospitalized a lot as a kid at Geisinger, Janet Weiss Children's Hospital.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Really liked the doctor who primarily took care of me as a kid. He was a pretty goofy guy. Really just liked how he interacted with me growing up. And yeah, I guess I got pretty good grades in high school and was a pretty smart kid, I guess. Okay. I don't know. And one thing just led to another, and that's how I became a doctor.
And now your main focus is pediatrics.
Yep.
Right?
Pediatric hospitalist. I take care of kids in the hospital. So my big joke with families is, when they're discharged from the hospital, hopefully they're never seeing me again unless it's at the Dunkin' Donuts or out to eat in the restaurants. So I'll take care of kids if they're sick and have to be hospitalized, or then take care of newborn babies when they're born. So hopefully, discharging a normal, healthy newborn baby, and then they're not seeing me again. I don't do any outpatient pediatrics, so it's just all in the hospital.
And you travel around, right?
Yeah, so I help cover different hospitals. Hospitals always have staffing deficiencies, whether it's someone got sick and is out on FMLA, they're trying to recruit, they just naturally need more staff. And so I just bounce around and pretty much help hospitals in this area so far with filling their staffing voids. I call myself a backpacking pediatrician.
I love it. I think it's great. And I've known you for a long time, Colby, and you're a big philanthropist.
Yes.
Giving back is really your thing. And we'll talk about Hunter's Heart and Hustle in a little bit, but we'll start off with Think Big.
Yeah.
Tell us about what Think Big is. What do you do? When did it start? How is this going?
Yeah, so Think Big, we started that in 2014 during my medical training at Geisinger. And Think Big has the primary mission to help financially support pediatric cancer patients and their families. So when a family's unfortunately diagnosed with pediatric cancer, it's a pretty stressful time. Obviously, they're spending a lot of time in the hospital, traveling to and from the hospital. But then it also becomes a very financially stressful time for mom, dad, Graham, whoever the primary caregiver for the child might be. They're probably exhausting their FMLA, their PTO, and the financial stress starts that up pretty quickly. And that's where Think Big hopes to come in. We help those families with their rent payments, mortgage payments, utility bills, out-of-pocket medical expenses, just kind of those everyday expenses to hopefully make that time a little bit easier for them. So they're not really worrying if the electric's going to get shut off or if the car's going to get repossessed. Just trying to, I guess, keep them feeling as much as normal financially during a super medically stressful time.
And the money stays local.
Yeah.
Right here in this area.
Yep. So we help families all throughout central and northeast Pennsylvania. We're at about a 26 county area. So the farthest west Think Big helps families is Clearfield County. And then if you pretty much go east all the way to the New Jersey border, and then the kind of the northern tier, northeast Pennsylvania, Lackawanna, Luzerne counties, here in this area, Union, Snyder, Montour, those counties. And we help families just based on what county they live in. It doesn't matter what hospital these families are going to. A lot of families are being treated at Geisinger, but we have families at Lehigh Valley Children's Hospital, going to the Children's Hospital Philadelphia. Some families we've helped have traveled very far to get super advanced specialized care. We've had some families that have been flying out to San Francisco, Baltimore, New York City. So again, if they live in that county area, ThinkBIG's here to help them. It doesn't matter what hospital they're going to.
Yeah. And you see that a lot with nonprofits and helping with pediatric cancer, but a lot of it is cancer research. Nothing wrong with that.
No, very important.
It absolutely is. Absolutely is. But the reason why I invested into ThinkBIG is because my donation would go to a sandwich or an overnight stay or helping a family knock out their electric bill.
Yeah.
Like you know where that's going.
Yeah.
It really helps these families out.
Yeah. And we're getting, like I said, we're a little over 10 years old now. ThinkBIG celebrated its 10th anniversary last fall. And what's been nice about it, if there is a nice thing about pediatric cancer, some of the families we've helped now are reaching out to us, and we're hearing more and more directly from those families how much it meant to, when they first got the news about pediatric cancer, felt like they probably got hit by a brick wall or ran into a brick wall. And it was just nice to those families to know that there's people out there that they're never going to meet. Some of the families we don't ever meet, that there was people out there that cared about them and wanted to support them and try and get them through a really difficult time. They expressed a lot of gratitude for the donors and our volunteers that support our mission. It means a lot to these families that we help.
Yeah. Again, all local.
Yes, local. We are local.
Right here.
Local/regional, I guess.
Regional.
Maybe regional.
Regional. But we're talking about ThinkBIG, and we're kind of going to transition into Hunter's Heart and Hustle Foundation. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah.
About Hunter, how this whole foundation came to be.
Yeah. So this one might get me a little bit.
It's okay.
They both get me. They both mean a lot to me. But Hunter's Heart and Hustle Foundation was started when my nephew unfortunately passed away in February of 2022. February 2022. He was tragically killed in a car accident. And when he passed away, this community, this local area just showed my family so much love and support by contributing to a memorial fund that was set up. I don't even remember who set it up. Just people loved on us so much. And it became a significant amount of money that our family decided to turn into a nonprofit in his memory. And Hunter loves sports. So the goal of Hunter's Heart and Hustle Foundation is to honor his love for sports. We help youth in this area with the cost, trying to remove that financial barrier of playing sports. Sports are expensive.
Yep.
They're not getting any cheaper. Yep. And so Hunter's Heart and Hustle Foundation comes into play by, as simple as paying that registration fee to play, Pee Wee football, or for that travel league to I'd say the other end of the spectrum. Sometimes there's some sports teams and individuals that really excel. And when they excel, then they get invited to significant tournaments that cost a lot to travel to. And we've helped teams. So we help individuals and teams really just to try and stay active and excel in sports. Like if you're a good athlete or a good sports team, it's pricey to continue to do that. And we just want to remove that barrier for them.
It's a shame. Every kid deserves the right to play if they want to play sports. But, truth be told, it is expensive. And these families do go through financial burdens with that. And we don't want that to deter a family can't not let their kid play because of a couple of bucks.
Exactly.
And that's where Hunter's Heart and Hustle Foundation comes in to help with that.
Yeah. So we've helped several individuals, awesome. Like I said, just that registration fee to enjoy the cheerleading season or the field hockey season or whatever sport it may or may not be. Or then here a couple years ago, the one Warrior Run Little League team, they weren't, it wasn't Little League, it was like the senior league division, but they excelled. They got all the way to, I can't remember if they got to the actual World Series for their division or like the step before, but they were traveling to Maine. They just kept winning, and it's like, this is going to be expensive for them. You always see these teams trying to raise money on social media so that they can get to these tournaments. And if they learn about our organization, sometimes we can help with that.
So we talked about these two wonderful nonprofits, and now you're like, well, I'm going to help raise money for Think Big and for Hunter, and you're going to go on a hiking expedition.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Not only are you a doctor, you're heading up a foundation, you're helping out another one. You're like, well, I'm going to backpack and just go and do this. So how did this originate? Why did we decide to do this?
Yeah.
You're a madman.
I am a madman, yeah. My wife tolerates me very, very well. So when I'm not in a hospital or helping with these nonprofits, the thing I do to kind of unwind or relax is being out in nature. Like I love being out in the woods, hiking, backpacking. And in our area, I don't know, there's a pretty popular trail called the Mid-State Trail. A lot of people hear the Appalachian Trail, but they never heard of the Mid-State Trail. And it's always been a bucket list item of mine to hike the entire Mid-State Trail, which is 333 miles.
How many miles?
330 miles.
330?
330, yep.
Miles?
Miles, yes.
And you're going to hike it?
I'm going to hike it. Yep, that's the goal. So it starts a little bit south of the Maryland border. There's maybe like 4 or 5 miles until you get to the Pennsylvania-Maryland border, and then it ends at the Pennsylvania-New York border. And so I've done certain sections of it. The most I've ever been out is probably 3 nights. Done maybe like 40 or 50 miles of it at a time, but I've never done the whole thing. And it's always been like one of those bucket list items. Like, you know what? I want to hike this whole thing. And well, I'm not getting any younger, that's for sure. And it will probably take me about 4 weeks. And it felt, it's already kind of selfish to do it, right? To a degree, to kind of accomplish some personal life goals. But then I was thinking, well, how can I incorporate some of the philanthropic causes that are important to me into like a personal bucket list item? I was like, well, let's see if I can turn it into a fundraiser.
Turn it into a platform.
Yeah, turn it into a platform, turn it into a fundraiser.
So so when does this hiking expedition start?
It starts April 27th, so I guess about 3.5 weeks.
Okay,
here.
April 27th.
Yep.
And you're expected to take how long on this trail?
I'm leaving April 27th. I'm tentatively scheduled to be done May 22nd.
So almost a whole month.
Almost a whole month, yeah. Almost a whole month.
Wow. Out in the nature.
It is, yeah. It goes through, like, there's certain parts that you are walking through a little town for a little bit, but most of it is state game lands, state forest lands, Rothrock State Forest in the State College area, Bald Eagle State Forest kind of here in our immediate area. It goes up into, like, Waterville and the Pine Creek area, and then finishes kind of north of Wellsboro at the New York border. But yeah, a lot of it is pretty remote wooded stuff. I'll be camping out in the middle of the woods quite a bit. Yeah.
Wow. Text me if you need a ride.
Okay.
I'll come and find you at Bald Eagle maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your plan of attack to raise money for these foundations?
Yeah. So this is actually pretty cool. So a company called Hampton Consulting is owned and operated by actually one of my fraternity brothers when I was at Penn State. We were talking about Penn State earlier. He's actually a local guy, Phil Donegan from Lewisburg. He runs Hampton Consulting Corporation, which is a corporation that pretty much helps medium to large businesses with like their HR infrastructure needs. So he's always been, one, a great friend, but also a dear supporter of Think Big. So I reached out to him and just asked him if he was interested in kind of sponsoring this hike. And he was like, wow, this is a pretty cool idea. Of course, I'd love to support you. So the goal is for me to raise about $15,000 from the general public, people hearing about this. And he is going to match donations dollar for dollar up to that $15,000 mark, so that hopefully I raise a grand total of $30,000 to split between these two organizations.
Do you have anything set up right now, or will you have things set up where people can donate through your journey? Yes, I'll have a website. I'm going to have a Facebook page that I'll have set up. I'm calling it Colby's Trek for Charity. It's kind of like my official little buzzy term for it. I like it. My Trek for Charity. And then I'll have a Facebook page and then a donation page that people will be able to visit, follow along on my journey. I'm going to try my best at
doing some nifty social media posts. If I see some cool wildlife while I'm out hiking, or just neat little updates while I'm out there, if people are interested in that kind of thing.
What do you hope to get out of this? Like, what's your end goal? I'm sure, nature, the experience and all, but what's your end goal?
I'd say, one, I just want people to know about both these organizations. Maybe this appeals to some outdoorsy like folks who might otherwise not have ever heard of Think Big and Hunter's Heart and Hustle Foundation. But I know me personally, like I always get attracted when I hear people doing kind of cool outdoorsy things, or seeing folks in the area that are, I don't know, doing cool outdoor expeditions. I think a couple years ago, someone from around here like kayaked or canoed the whole west branch of the Susquehanna River, and I was like following along on that. So maybe it'll appeal to people like that who just like the outdoors things, but then they'll also learn a little bit about the organizations. Obviously, it'd be great to just raise funds for both these organizations. I know the money goes to great things for both of them, so it would be a huge accomplishment to get that financial goal to split between these two organizations. And then for me personally, like I said, it's just kind of a bucket list item to cross one off the old bucket list, explore Mid-State Trail from end to end.
What about the snakes, Colby?
It's funny you mentioned snakes.
So there might be snakes out there.
There will 100% be snakes out there.
Yeah.
Because I've encountered them. I've stepped over them. They camouflage very well.
Yeah.
There are some
rattlesnakes.
Yeah, rattlesnakes.
Copperheads.
Yeah. Probably more rattlesnakes,
Cool.
I'd say. Yeah,
Cool.
probably more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's risks in being outdoors, but I think the gratification you get from just being out in nature, whether it's hiking, biking, fishing, I mean, it's proven in medicine to provide lower stress levels, lower anxiety levels for kids, lower rates of ADHD. Like, it's just being outside is mentally healthy, and I think everyone can use some mental health improvements from time to time.
You ain't kidding. Yeah, you ain't kidding. I know you've been talking about doing this for a while.
Yeah.
This wasn't just like a spur of the moment, 3:30 thought in the morning, about going out and doing this. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I'm pumped. Yeah, it's been about 9 months where I first talked to my wife about it and just said, "Hey, babe, what do you think about me doing this?
Here's an idea."
Here's an idea.
Yeah.
And she's very, very supportive of it.
That's awesome.
And I will get to see her and Brielle throughout the hike. I'll probably actually get to see some family members, because the Mid-State Trail actually goes through some pretty popular state parks. People might have heard of like R.B. Winter State Park, Little Pine State Park. So there's opportunities to kind of meet up with people there. And, one of these nights I might even be staying in like a camper or something like that.
Yeah.
And enjoying a hot shower instead of bathing in a creek or something like that.
This is not like Naked and Afraid.
No, it's not.
It has nothing to do like that.
No, it's not going to be that
You're
rough.
not going to have to like break a deer's neck and then eat it.
No.
You'll be all right.
Yeah,
Bring
I'll
some
be packing.
granola
I'll be
bars.
packing my food.
Yeah.
Dehydrated food is a pretty common thing for folks to pack. So I'll probably pack for about 5 or 6 days worth of food at a time.
Okay.
And then try and meet up somewhere or someone and restock and whatnot.
Yeah. So share your journey throughout the whole process
Yeah.
as much as you can.
Definitely.
We are going to try to create a community behind you and whatever Stone State can do.
Yeah.
We are 1,000% behind this, and I think it's a lot of fun. I think you're going to have the best time of your life. I really do. I think it's going to be very spiritual for you. I think it's going to be very calming, and it's for such a great cause.
Yeah.
Two great organizations. So, I want people to donate.
Yeah.
Help out wherever they can. Reach out to you through your social media platforms and just raise awareness with two great causes, and see you on your journey, Colb.
Yeah, I'll see you on my journey. Maybe. Be checking in. I don't know if you actually see me.
I'll drive around and see if I can look for you.
I'll yell from you from the mountaintop or something.
Yeah, I'll be there. Whatever you need, pal. But again, thanks for taking the time, telling us about your journey, and we wish you the best of luck, and we're there for you, whatever you need.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Colb. Thanks for stopping in. Pal.
Yeah, you too.
All right.
This podcast was produced by Stone State Entertainment.